Hey guys, so I promised a few ladies in a group that I would show how I create my templates that I'm going to use for my 11-ounce mug sublimations. So you can see here on my screen, this is one that I designed in Microsoft PowerPoint, and you can see all the parts here. Like if I just move them around. So I'm just going to go back and undo here. And keeping with that same concept, this particular font, some people thought it was like a spooky font, but it's called a dripping marker. And I don't think it's like a spooky font. They do have some out there that are spooky, like for Halloween. But I like that font. I think it would even be cute with like the Grinch, on it. And then this is another one that I did. It's the same concept. The only thing I did is I went in and I changed the font. This font is actually called Alex Brush. So I changed the font, kept everything else the same, and then I added these little shapes, these little white shapes in there to make it look like little stars, so to speak, in white to represent Christmas as well. Um, And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna walk you through how I actually did this. Now you do have to keep in mind because you're not going to be prompted to do this, but when you're designing a Microsoft PowerPoint and you're doing sublimation, you have to remember to flip your image because like in Cricut Design Space, when you click on Make It, you're going to have the option over on the left-hand side of your screen. So I'm in Cricut Design Space and I upload an image and I'm just going to put anything in here. So let's say I have that image, I click Make It. You're not going to be prompted like here you see on your screen to hit mirror, but when you're in Microsoft PowerPoint, you're not going to get that option. Okay, so just remember to mirror, and I'll make sure I show you before I stop here. But yeah, these are just some of the ones that I did, and these are where I designed it, and then this is where I actually took a screenshot of it and mirrored it. So this is the full piece. Okay, as you can see me moving the whole thing around on my screen versus the ones up here. These are the ones where I actually designed it to put it together. Okay, so with Microsoft PowerPoint, there's multiple ways that you can actually go about designing out these little templates for your 11-ounce mugs or whatever size mugs you're going to be using. So on this one, I just found a background and then I inserted that background and added a couple of images and added Merry Christmas to it. But you can go in and you can start from scratch. So I'm going to show you if you start from scratch. So there are times that when I'm out on the internet and I'm looking for things, I might get motivated by the colors and decide, oh, I would like to use those colors. So here's an example of a time when I might, look at an image. So I'm going to show you how I would go about taking colors from an image that's already put together on the internet and then making it my own for the background, just using the colors. So without further ado, I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy this image and then I'm going to bring it right into PowerPoint where I'm designing, and I'm going to right click and paste. And so now I have that image. So I'm going to tell you now that I have this set so that I get uh, the long side of it. So when it prints out, all I have to do is just kind of clip around it and make sure it fits my mug. And I pretty much have the measurements down. So for this one, you would just go to Design, Slide Size, and Custom Slide Size. So after you measure your mug, this is where you want to put your measurements in PowerPoint. So my mug is width-wise 9.5 and height-wise about 3.7, okay? And then I change it to landscape because I wanted to go the long way around my mug. So you want to make sure you do that, and then you hit OK, and it's going to ask you, let me actually do it so you guys can get the full gist of it. So when you hit slide size and you do custom, let's say I change this to 3.8 and I hit OK, it's going to ask you to maximize or ensure fit. You want to choose ensure fit, okay? Make sure to choose ensure fit, okay? So I'm going to cancel that and cancel that because I don't want to change it. So this is how I start designing out my background using a gradient. So I take an image that I want to take the colors from. Okay, so I'm going to use some of these colors here to make my background. So you see my background is currently white. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here and I'm going to say format background. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here on the right and I'm going to hit gradient fill. Okay, so you can see it's picked up the colors from my previous gradient. So what I can do is I'll go in and I'll take out some of these just so you can see it from the beginning. And I'll just make that one white as well. So with your gradients, this is where you can add multiple colors and you can change the pattern of the colors on your background. So I think this is the main thing that people are interested in knowing. So I'll focus a little bit here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look and see how many colors are over here. So I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do about 6. So you have what you call gradient stops, okay? And if you don't want, a bunch of them, then you just click on the ones you don't want and you can delete them, okay? So I'm just going to click on Add Gradient Stop, which is this first option here on the right, and I'm just going to add another one and another one and another one and another one. And what it's doing is it's putting these little pointers for whatever colors I want to use. And right now they're white, so you don't see any difference, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the first one, and then right here where it says color, I'm going to click on that drop down and I'm going to select eyedropper, okay? And what that's going to do is allow me to click on something to pull a color from it. So I'm going to hit eyedropper. I'm going to go over to this image and I'm going to take this red color, okay? And I'm going to bring this down just so you can see there's the color on my screen, okay? So I'm going to do it again. And I actually want it on the background, not the picture. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm now going to click on the second stopper, which is the second gradient stop. And again, I'm going to click on the color and select eyedropper. And I'm going to select another color from this picture. And wherever you click, you'll see this little square box. You see that little square box? It's now red. Now it's kind of like a green color. If I go here, it has that bright orangish looking color. So wherever you lay your little pen, it's going to pick up whatever color you click on. Okay, so I'm going to click on the gold here. And now you can see it's picked up the second gradient stop in that color. Okay, so I'm not going to keep saying that over and over. I'm just going to go and take a couple of these so you can get the gist. Okay, so those are all of the colors that I pulled from here. I think this one is too dark for me right here. So I'm going to go in and change that one. And let's see what I want to get. So if I do that, then I'm going to go in and change this one. And you just play around with it to whatever works for you. Okay, and then I'm going to throw a little bit of red on the end. There's no right or wrong. It's whatever you choose to do. All right, so now you can see I've taken colors from an image. It's just that simple. And then you have this type here. And if you click on the drop down arrow here, it's going to give you some options. So right now it's linear. I can change it to radial. I can also go back and change it to rectangle. And you can also change it to a path. And you can also change it to a shade from a title. So I'm going to leave it on linear. And then I'm going to come down to direction. And this is where you can actually get even more creative and change the direction that the colors are going in. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Okay, so we're going to go back to this pattern. All right, so that is how I go in and I design this out as far as making different colors for my background. Now, you do not have to go with the colors that you see me playing around with. You can get creative and do whatever it is that you would like to do. And then you can add images as you see fit. So like if I wanted to add this Santa Claus, I'm going to copy the Santa and paste him right on in. And I'm going to remove this line from around him. And the reason I do it like this is because this keeps you from having, if you don't want just white space, it will make it look intentional that you have the colors to blend with the image. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that out of my way. Let's see where we want Santa. And I'm only doing like a Christmassy type thing because, you know, we are getting ready to go into the holiday season. So now I'm going to add the little shapes that I showed you from the previous screen. So it's called a star 4-point, but you have different stars that you can go down here and grab. But I'm going to take that one. And you just click and drag, and it'll make it whatever size you want it. And what I do is I click on it, and I change it from a solid and the line. I make both of them white. So I'm going to do white and white. And then I just get a couple of them on my screen. Copy and paste. And then I just keep hitting paste. And get a bunch of them on my screen. And I'm going to show you because it is a way you can expedite this. So what I would do is I would just take a couple of the stars and just drag them around in different places. Again, it's your thing. There's no right or wrong. But this is one of the ways that you can, you know, make your own little Christmas backgrounds. And then I'm going to right click and copy, and then right click and paste. And with all of them selected, I'm just going to drag them over. Let's see where I want them. We'll go down like that. And this time I'm going to take all of them and right click and copy and right click and paste. And again, I can drag them all over at once like that. Hey, Santa Claus. All right, so that's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And so what I would do is you would, when you put this around your mug, you're going to have these little stars, and then your Santa Claus would be in the center. Or you could put Santa Claus, you know, on the side and put your stars. It's just up to you how you want to do that. So I'm going to put Santa right there, and then I'm going to go up to the top to my menu and select Insert, Text Box, and then I'm just going to drag it. And here I'm going to type in Merry. I think I'm going to do Happy Holidays. Happy. And so I'm going to go up to Home, and I'm going to change the font. And let me do it this way so I can see what the font is going to look like. Okay, let's try. I'm going to try a different one. Let's go with Amanda Black. This is Amanda Black. And I'm going to change it to white. And I'm going to increase the sizing. One of the things I like about PowerPoint, and a lot of people, you know, have it but don't use it. They go out and they purchase Photoshop and all other stuff. But I absolutely love working in Microsoft PowerPoint because it's so user-friendly. Okay, so we're going to say Happy Holidays. And I'm just going to take that star so I can have some room here. And I'm going to put it up here. Remember, no right or wrong. You're designing out your own mug, so you can have it however you so choose. That's the good thing about getting creative and doing your own thing. All right, so we have Happy Holidays. You can put, again, whatever you like. I'm going to kind of bring down my stars here so it's not too close to my Santa there. So I'm going to put a couple of little ones in here. So I can get a couple down here. Now, if you want it to go in and add other stuff, you can. I'm just giving you just a quickie overview on how you can do this. And then if you want to see it all brought together, you can just go down here on the bottom right and click on Slideshow. And when you click on that, it shows you what your image is going to look like as a whole. Okay, so I'm going to escape. And then if you want to have, because what I did is I actually added like a little lid for the, to go, a line, shall I say, a line to go around the top. So I'm going to bring these up a little bit. And I just do Insert, and I'm going to select a shape. 1 second here. So I'm going to select a shape, and I'm just going to go with a line. So I just draw a line straight across, just like that. Just drag the line out. And then you can play around with it here on the right hand side of your screen. So I'm going to say I want to change the color. And I could go down to the eyedropper and select a color from in here if I want to make sure that it's one of these colors. And then you can use the width to thicken it up. And you'll see at the top of my screen that it's getting thicker. So what I'm going to do is change the color here just so you guys can see it better. But here's the line. And I just place it at the very top there. And you can do the same thing with the line. If you want to make that line a gradient, you just click on, instead of solid line, you go with gradient. And then if you want to add a couple of the other colors, you know, do the same thing. So I'm going to go to eyedropper and I'm going to select red. And then I'm going to go to the next stop. I'm just choosing colors that are already, and they'll have, these are the colors that you currently used. You can select them from here. And let's do white. See what that will look like. And another red. Okay, so that's going to be at the top part, and then I'm going to copy it and paste it, and then I'm going to put one at the bottom here. So that's going to be at the top and the bottom of your mug. And again, go back down to the bottom right and click on Slideshow. And that's what it's going to look like. I think it's very, very pretty. I think that's very pretty. Okay, so this is how you go in, guys. And then once you get it all like you want it, let's say this is all you want to do, you don't want to do anything else, then you want to, you could go in and take a snapshot. You have, on my laptop, I have a snippet functionality, and you can actually download this, I do believe, but if I type in snipping, it's called the snipping tool. Okay, and basically what that does is I'm going to blow my screen up here, and then I'm just going to hit this key on my keyboard called print screen. It's the print screen key. And what that's going to do, it's going to come up and allow me to click whatever I want to copy. So now that I have it, I'm going to escape, and then I'm just going to go to a blank slide that doesn't have anything on it. I'm going to right click and paste. Now this is all one image. Okay, so this is the complete image. This is the one where you have pieced it together. Okay, so let's say that somebody says, oh, that's a really nice coffee mug. How much would you charge me to make one? But could you make the happy holidays, you know, in a green color? Let's go with a darker green. Then you already have your image already designed. All you have to do is change the happy holidays to green, just like that. And you're ready to go. Now, what I would highly recommend is that maybe change a little bit of this green in here, you know, so that that green is not like fading out, or either move your happy holidays over or your holidays over just a tad bit. So you see how it blends into that green. So you could kind of move it over, or you could play around with your gradients. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but so now here is my image that I want to use for my mug. And remember, I told you that you have to remember to flip it. So all you're going to do is highlight the entire image, and you'll know it's selected because it's going to have these little dots all the way around the image. And you're doing this on the one that you just made it out of a complete image, not the one that you have pieced together. Okay, not your template. All right, so you're going to click that. You're going to go to picture format, and you're going to select rotate and tell it to flip it. Sorry. There we go. Flip horizontal. Flip horizontal. So that's your mirror. Okay. That is your mirror, because you're going to be placing this face down onto your mug or onto your tumbler. And so you want to make sure that when you lay it face down, your letters aren't in the reverse. Okay, so it's not going face up, it's going to be laying face down so that that image can bleed into your tumbler or to your coffee mug. Okay, so that is how I go in and design in Microsoft PowerPoint. But you can get as creative as you like. I'm going to show you one additional thing. So like when I was out looking at these different backgrounds, if I wanted to just use this background, again, when I copy that image and I go back to PowerPoint, I could go here and tell it for the format background. I could click on picture or texture field. Now remember, I copied the image. You have to make sure you copy whatever you want to paste into your background. So I'm going to click on picture or texture field. And then I'm going to come here and select clipboard because I copied that picture so it's on my clipboard. And you see how it takes up the entire space? So you could do that, and then you could take your Santa Claus and copy him. And you can pop your Santa Claus right into that image if you like. And you can design from here. So I could go up and very easily take all of these things and including this line and this line, and just right click, copy, come down here. I'm going to take Santa out and paste. Okay, so I just added another level to it. And if you want to just blow it up to see what it's going to look like, just come down to the right again and click on Slideshow. And that's what your image would look like. The only thing, and it's always good to blow it up because I would then come in and take this and put it back on a color that you can see it. And then we can move that back over some like that, and now blow it up. And now you see the happy holidays. And I probably now would take this and change it from gradient to just a solid, and possibly make it white. And the same thing here. Now you saw how I went in and I made that white. I could do this easier by going to shape format. Actually it's home. So I'm clicked on the shape, which is that line. I'm going to click on home. I'm going to select format painter, and then I'm going to click on this shape on the bottom. And it's going to format whatever I was on, and then I go back and click on something else, it's going to make it the same. So now when I click on Slideshow, that's what I have now. Okay. And again, you want to, I'm going to go back here just a second. I'm going to hit my print screen on my keyboard. I'm going to take a snapshot of this and then escape, come back to PowerPoint, and I'm going to come to a blank slide. I'm going to do a new slide, and then I'm going to right click and paste. Now I have this as one whole, but I still have the one that I can design very easily. And then again, you're just going to click on it, go to picture format, rotate, and flip horizontal. And now you're ready. You have your image mirrored, and you are ready to put it onto your thermos or your mug. So that's how I design in Microsoft PowerPoint, guys. If you'd like to see other things in Microsoft PowerPoint, because I've been using PowerPoint for I don't know how many years. So I don't do any designing in anything other than Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Cricut Design Space. I don't use Photoshop or anything like that. I haven't had a need for it. But this is where I do my designing. Okay. So if you'd like to see more, just let me know. And if you're currently in my Facebook group, thank you guys so much for being in my Facebook group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. And if you are currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you guys so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you are not, and this is the first time that you are seeing one of my tutorials, then please like, share, and subscribe. And also hit that bell notification in the top right-hand corner so you will be made aware anytime I upload YouTube videos, which I do often. And on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist. So you can go to the playlist and you can find specific tutorials for sublimation, and then specific playlist for crafting, so on and so forth. So I tried to make it a little bit easier for you to find things on my YouTube channel. All right, guys, that's my story. And as always, you know, my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. You guys have a great day.